All right, guys, let's hit another practice test here. Get ready for tomorrow. Number 1 through 4 are all the same kind of problem. And if you can just punch them in your calculator, you really have it made. So what we do on these, remember, is we make a list of factors of the last number, put that there, and those are the numbers I'm looking for on my calculator. So I punch it in, see where it crosses the x-axis, it crosses at -3. That left me, so I checked it, it got 0, so it worked. Left me these three numbers, it crossed at 5. Using those three numbers, it worked again, got a 0. Use those numbers, it crossed at -4, got it again. There's only 3 answers because it's x cubed, that's all there is to it. Number 2, same kind of deal. Put the factors of 15 in my list right here, in my list. Graph it on my calculator. It looked like it crossed at +1, so I put 1 in the box. Sure enough, I got 0. Took those 3 numbers down here. It looked like it crossed at 3, so I tried the 3. It worked. Got those 2 numbers. Tried the 5. Got those 2. So I got 0 again. So those 3 numbers work. I'm going to skip 3 because this is just exactly the same as those. Let's go straight to 4. 4 is a little bit different because it's got a it doesn't have the last number. Like it's the last constant over here is 0 after the variable. So if that happens to you, always start out by putting 0 in the box and then going through and get your first answer. Use these 4 numbers, punch it in your calculator, and also remember, because this is x to the 4th power, you're going to have 4 answers. It crossed at 1, check it. Sure enough, I got a 0. Take those 3 numbers, looked like it crossed at 2, so I tried the 2. It worked because I got a 0. Looked like it crossed at 3. I used those 2 numbers, got a 0, and so my answers are 0, 1, 2, 3, which is kind of a funny kind of answer. 5, I think I got 5. No, just 5 on this one. There's 5 is a little bit different because you're going to start getting imaginary answers. First thing I did is I punched it in my calculator. It looked like it crossed at 3. Whatever you have left down here, write it out just like this, and move the 4 over. Take the square root, plus or minus 2i. So don't forget to write your first answer. 3 answers, 3 and plus and minus 2i. 6 is exactly the same. You got to punch it in your calculator. You really can't tell for sure. It's in between the 1 and the 2. The list, if I'd have made a list, I forgot to make a list on this one. You'd put the factors of 12, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. And because the first number is 2, you put all those over 2. You'd go 1 over 2, 2 over 2 you don't need, 3 over 2 you do need, and 4 over 6 you don't, 4 over 2, 6 over 2, 12 over 2, you're good. So that's the number that's between 1 and 2. So I put that in the box, got a 0. Took what's left right here, wrote it in an equation, moved the 8 over, divided by 2, took the square root, got 2i again. I'm going to tell you, if you're watching this video, this exact problem, number 6, is on your test. So make sure you can do that. It's either 5 or 6 on your test. I'm not sure which one. Okay, number 7, it's going backwards. Number 7, to give you the answers, you've got to come up with the equations. So remember, if you give you 2i, that automatically means negative 2i is an answer also, and there's the other 2. So write them as factors. There's x minus 2i, x plus 2i, x minus 3, x plus 3. Now this one's really neat because these 2 are conjugates and those 2 are conjugates. That's not going to happen all the time. So because they're conjugates of each other, you can just do FL. So I did first, last here, and I got that. I multiplied the first and last here, and got that. Now the I squared makes that a positive 4, changes the sign. Then I have to do FOIL, which I got down here. And then I could add my x squareds together. I got negative 5x squared. Don't forget to put the little f of x at the end. Number 6 has something a little bit different. Sorry, number 8 has something a tad bit different. And that is that it has the multiplicity 2. What that means is -1 is a double root or is an answer twice. So when I put the opposite, when I put the x plus 1 here, I have to write it 2 times. X plus 1, x plus 1. And there's a 4i, which means -4i is also an answer. So I have to write that one right there. On these last two, I can do because they're conjugates. So I do x squared minus 16i squared. The first 2 are not conjugates because they both are pluses. So I have to do FOIL, which I got right here. Took one more step because the I squared makes that a plus 16. And you can add those 2 x's together and make that 2x. And what I do when I have a trinomial and a binomial, or 3-term parentheses and a 2-term, is I take the smaller one. I take the x squared all the way through. Got that. Take the 16 all the way through. That way you just have to do it twice. I can add my x squares. Got it. Don't forget to put the little f of x at the end. 9 and 10 just got to scribe. It's got a -3 outside. That's shift down 3. Number 10 has two things. It's got a negative inside the denominator. Because it's inside, it reflects across the y. 0.5 is really 1/2. Because it's inside the denominator, it's a horizontal stretch by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2. So be careful on that one. The 1 on your test is just like number 10 there. 11, 12, and 13, and 14, that's like. Okay, this is what we did yesterday, well, earlier in the week, it looks like. Graphing the fractions. Write your transformations first. Shift left 2, down 3. The 2's outside and front, vertical stretch by 2. So I'm going left 2, draw that one. Down 2, draw that one. Get your 2 points, vertical stretch by 2. Remember, vertical means up and down. So usually I go over 1, up 1. Vertical means up, down, so I'm going to go over 1, up 2. Over 1, down 2. Draw your 2 curves, you got it. 12, same kind of deal. Write your shifts first. Got a +2 there, so shift left 2. Got a +3, that's up 3. Now, this time the 2 is in the denominator. Because it's in there, it's horizontal. And because it's horizontal, you got to do reciprocal. Reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. So it's a horizontal compressed by 1/2. So I do my shifting. Went left 2, went up 3, got my 2 blue asymptotes there. And my points, because it's a horizontal compressed by 1/2, usually I go, remember horizontal sideways, I usually go over 1, up 1. You go over 1/2, up 1, over 1/2, down 1. And 13, 14 is what we did last week. We got to expand it. Because the exponent is 3, you're going to get 4 terms. The x's are going to go down. The 2's are going to come up. So if it has a number in your parentheses, it's going to take you 2 lines. 14 has no number. It just takes 1 line. That's all you got to do. So 13, first term is x to the 3rd power. The last term is 2 to the 3rd power. The second term always starts with that main exponent. So I'm going to put a 3 there. The x's are going down. The 2 starts coming up. Notice those exponents are 2 and 1. The next term, the x goes down to 1. The 2 comes up to 2. Because those exponents are the same as those exponents, and that has a 3, that means that has a 3. Now to finish up, you just go 3 times 2, 6. This one you go 2 squared, which is 4, times 3 is 12. And the last term, just do your 2 cubed. 14, it's bigger, but it's actually easier because there's no number in it. So it's just one step. You're going to start with a to the 5th. You're going to end with b to the 5th. Your second term is always going to start with the main exponent, 5. Your a is coming down, your b is coming up. The next term, the a is going down, the b is coming up. But you got to figure out what goes in the front. To do that, you do NCR. N is your big exponent, your main exponent, 5. Your r, what you put here, can be either one of those 2 exponents in the term. 3 or 2, you get the same answer. It gives you 10. My next term, my a went down, my b came up. Because those exponents are 2 and 3, and those exponents are 2 and 3, that's a 10, that's a 10. Plus 5ab to the 4th. The a goes down, the b comes up. Those exponents are 4 and 1. Those exponents are 4 and 1. So that was a 5, that's a 5. And don't forget, because there's a minus sign in there, you go plus, minus, plus, minus. The signs alternate all the way through. 15 and 16 are graphing cubes, cube roots, or just cubes, just cubes. Tell what's happening first. 1/3 in front. It's in front, not in the parentheses, so it's a compressed by 1/3 vertically. Usually you go over 1, up 1, but because it's compressed vertically by 1/3, vertical's up and down, you go over 1, up 1/3, over 1, down 1/3. Connect your dots, la la la, you got it. 16 has a shift left 1 and shift up 2. So all I did on that is I take my 0, 0 point and go left 1, up 2. There's no vertical stretch or anything, so just go over 1, up 1, over 1, down 1. Connect that, dots, la, 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 and you got it. 17 is a circle one that's on there just about every single week. The center, put the opposite in here, plus 2 and plus 8. Don't forget your squares. Don't forget your squares. And to figure out what goes over here, the reason it contains the 0.24 is because it works. So plug a 2 in for your x, a 4 in for your y. 2 plus 2 is 4. Squared, 16. 4 plus 8 is 12. Squared, 144. Add them up. Get 160. That goes right there. Not hard. Where are we at? 18. 18 is a parabola problem. Graph what they give you. They tell me the focus was 0, 4. That's up there. Directrix is y equals -4. Now be careful there. It has to cross the y-axis at -4, so it has to go that way. If you try to draw it this way, it's going to mess you all up. It has to cross the y-axis at -4. And what that tells me is the vertex is right in the middle. It's right there. It has to open up because it can't touch the line. So I'm going to put, because it's opening up, my 4p goes with the y, because the y-axis goes up, like the parabola, equals x squared. All you got to find is p, and you're done. P is how far it is from the vertex to the focus, which is 4. So you do 4 times 4 is 16. And then make sure it's positive 16, and because it's going up, it's got to be positive. 19, 2 bars, 2 answers, 2 bars, 2 answers. Make sure you get 2 answers here. Move the 7 over, gives you 8. Write that step. And because it's less than, it's going to be less than. It's an and, so you write it 2 times. Write less than 8, greater than negative 8. Add 4 everywhere. There's your answer. And there's your number line. Number 20, 2 bars, 2 answers again. Make sure you get 2 answers. Divide by 4 first. Get the absolute value by itself. It's greater, which means it's an or. So I'm writing x minus 6 is greater than 12, just what I saw. Or x minus 6 is less than negative 12. So just move the 6, get 18. Move the 6, get negative 6. Draw your number line. Got it. And the last page, 21 and 22, graphing absolute value. On 21, there's no shifting at all. So you start at 0, 0. The 4 in the front is a vertical stretch. So you go up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, instead of going up 1 over 1. Don't forget to tell your domain and range right here. 22, it's got a left shift 2, a down shift 1, so go to there. There's a 1/2 in the front, so we're going to go over 1, up 2. Sorry, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Draw your V. Got it? And don't forget your domain and range again. Don't forget your domain and range. And the very last, whoops, I don't know how that happened. The last set, I can't move it, I don't think. Let me see if I can move this. Yeah. Not going to make it look very good. Oh, well. I'm not sure what happened there. Anyway, number 23 says where's it increasing? It's increasing from there to there. Also, there to there. 2 places. There's arrows at the end, which means you got to use some infinities. So it's increasing from negative infinity to negative 2. Don't forget use x's. Don't forget to use your x's. And it's also increasing from 1 to forever, which means it's going down from here to here. It's going down, which is between negative 2 and 1. And the domain and range are both the same thing because the arrows, it's going left and right forever, and it's also going up and down forever. So that's why it's all those infinities. All right, hope that helps a little bit. I'll put it on YouTube so you can watch what you need as much as you need. Skip around, whatever. Be ready. Have some questions for me in the morning before we take it, and hopefully you do great. And you earned quite a few stars today, which is good. Well, almost all of you did. And I'll see you tomorrow.